Hi everyone, this is Bonnie from Backward Story, and today I have another design analysis video to share with you. I am focusing on Tandem by Anna Jarzab, and this is the first book in a trilogy. The second book is coming next year, and it is called Tether, and the final book will come out in 2016, and it has no announced title yet, though I'm guessing it's probably something with a T in it. Anyway, I finally read this because I actually thought this was a two-book series. I thought it was Tandem and Tether, and then it was finished, and so once I got a hold of a copy of Tether, I decided I was going to read both books together, only to find out it's a trilogy. So yeah, I'm finally reading this, and I wanted to share the design with you because it is really intriguing, I think. It's really beautiful on the inside, even though it has the illusion of looking ordinary on the outside. The cover features a outline of a starling, which is a bird that you will understand why it looks this way when you start reading the book, because they get into it a little bit. And then the font treatment for the title has kind of a futuristic sci-fi feel, which is perfect because it's definitely a sci-fi book. When you take the dust jacket off, it looks unassuming. But if you look down the spine, and I don't think my camera can pick it up at all, but it's this really pretty purpley blue color, and this is probably going to look really blurry here. Maybe you can't see it. You can kind of see it in the A. If you look across this line right here, you can see this little white spot, and you can see some white spots in the D here, and there's just a little bit of deconstruction going on, and it looks the way it does here too, where you've got a lighting effect in the title. And I just thought it was really cool that they brought that into the spine, because this is a part of the book you don't often see, and it's just cool that that carried over. And then you open it up and you have this really cool texture of lines that is going to reoccur in the pages of the book. And I just like when design carries through, like this title treatment is going to be what they use as the chapter headings for each book. So you've got this really cool cloudy background for the quotes that are at the beginning of the book, and then there is that title treatment for the prologue, and there is that design that was on the flap. And down the side of the book, whenever there is a page number, you get this really cool effect of stars. And then you have this segment of Earth. And it's completely upside down. And why? And you want to know more right away. And then when you get to Aurora, sorry, I had the page marked, there it is. You have a different design, and you've got some stars going on, and it's completely different, and I like that they sectioned it that way. I also like the design treatment here for how many days are remaining for what you will find out, and you've got those lines coming through here again, and then the instead of stars, you have kind of this arrow thing right here for the page numbers now, and you have an intriguing marking of stars that you will eventually find a little bit more out about. And I just like the way it's Thomas in the Tattered City here before it goes into each individual chapter. Oh, well, it has this again, the little star thingy, and now it's going into a chapter. But you have this every so often, which is really cool, and it's also here. Thomas through the Tandem, got a lot of alliteration going on there. And one thing that made me sad about reading Tether on my Nook, it just doesn't look nearly as epic, you know, like you can't see the colors very well, you don't see the design as much, and it just doesn't have the same feel to it. For example, here is that same image of Earth that you get in the book. It just has a completely different feel to it. You can barely see it. Maybe it's just because I have a black and white reader. I don't know. But it's something that I feel like a physical copy of the book does so much more for me than the ebook copy does with this particular series, just because there is so much going on in the design. one other thing I want to focus on before I say goodbye is that parts of this book reminded me of a childhood staple, A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, who used to be one of my favorite authors. You can see this book is completely torn up and it's a little bit destroyed and falling apart. It was very well loved, and when I was reading this, one scene in particular reminded me of A Wrinkle in Time because they both use diagrams to explain complex scientific theory that the readers and maybe the characters don't necessarily know. So diagrams make it so much easier to understand what they're talking about if you have no knowledge of the topic. And so in Tandem, they call it a tetracytus, maybe? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not smart enough to know that word. It's Tetractys. Science has never been my forte, so I apologize for messing that up, but it's about analogs and parallel universes and a lot of the stuff talked about in this book. And they use this diagram, which is going to be important again later in the series, to show the different degrees of the planets that are similar or dissimilar to one another, and the way parallel universes may create analogs that look and act similar to the version of you on another planet, kind of. But it reminded me of A Wrinkle in Time and the famous diagram to explain tesseracts and moving from one dimension to another, and the way you have the ant, and you have the wrinkle, and then you have all the different dimensions. And this is just something that really stands out in my memory from this book. And when I saw the diagram in Tandem, I immediately wanted to make a comparison because I remember that the diagram in this helped me understand how the Wallace kids went to this other world, and how everything worked. And so there's a diagram in this that is supposed to do the same sort of thing. And I thought that was a really cool concept, and I'm very glad it was included for people like me who maybe science goes a little bit over my head because I'm not as smart in it as I am in other fields. So it really helps for me, and I am also a visual learner, so seeing things helps me figure them out. But yeah, so that's the end of my little, whatever you want to call that. It's not a rant or a lecture, I don't know, just my spiel, I guess. So that is a look at the interior design for Tandem, and also a sneak peek at the sequel to it, which is Tether. And, well, my Nook is off now, so I guess that doesn't really help you to look at the cover anymore. But that's just the end of my design analysis for this series. I think it's really good looking. I like the inclusion of visuals and charts for scientific facts. And if you liked A Wrinkle in Time growing up, or if you like sci-fi, and you like things that have princesses and deception and stuff in them, then take a look at Tandem. And I have a review of it up today that you can take a look at as well. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!